In July of 1996, a 31-year-old Canadian man named Blair Adams embarked on a journey that made no sense to anyone who knew him. He was healthy, successful, and close with his family. Then, suddenly, he began telling friends he was in danger, that someone was trying to kill him. What followed was a week of erratic travel, strange decisions, and one of the most baffling unsolved murders in North America. On July 5th, Blair withdrew all the money from his bank accounts, thousands in cash, along with gold and jewelry. He packed them into a small bag and drove from his home in Surrey, British Columbia, to the US border. When officials noticed his unusual behavior, they stopped him, suspecting he might be involved in drug trafficking. He turned back, only to try again the next day, this time flying to Seattle, renting a car, and driving thousands of miles east, seemingly at random. Along the way, Blair stopped in several cities, acting increasingly paranoid. He told people he was being followed, that someone wanted him dead, but he never said who. Hotel staff described him as polite but agitated. He checked into one room in Knoxville, Tennessee, then immediately checked out again, claiming he didn't feel safe. Just hours later, his body was found half naked in a construction lot near a hotel, his money and valuables scattered around him. At first glance, robbery seemed likely, but nothing had been taken. Investigators were left with contradictions, signs of struggle but no clear motive, witnesses who described him as terrified but unable to explain why. There were no drugs or alcohol in his system. The case was as if fear itself had driven him into a trap. Detectives traced his final hours through security footage and eyewitness accounts. Blair had been seen at a gas station the night before, buying fuel and talking to an attendant who said he appeared disoriented. He had asked for directions to a hotel that was just across the road. Why he ended up in a nearby construction site remains unexplained. The scattered money, his missing keys, and the absence of any suspects left police with nothing but questions. Some investigators believe Blair suffered a sudden mental break brought on by stress or illness. Others insist someone was indeed following him, and that whoever it was caught up to him in Knoxville. Nearly 30 years later, Blair Adams's death is still one of the strangest mysteries in the US South. A man who seemed to know something terrible was coming, racing across borders and time zones to escape it, but finding it waiting for him anyway. The field where he was found has long since been developed, but his story still haunts travelers who pass through Knoxville. Blair Adams ran from something unseen, and whatever it was, it never had to show its face.